Hello YouTube, it's me again, and we're going to take up part 3 of my deconstruction of the Communist Manifesto and Karl Marx. This time we're going to be discussing the animus behind the Communist Party and why they always remove all sorts of cultural adaptations from societies that they take over. We're going to look mostly at their morality and how the manifesto describes that morality and what it should entail. Now, part of the true movement of communism, as described by Karl Marx, was a change to society. Well, society is a moral construct for the most part. We create societies to create laws and basic understandings and agreements that we can all get along to and then interact together in those laws and those morals. He argued that each civilization, though, had created its own downfall in creating its own morality, and that the next stage was birthed within the previous version of society because of their morality. So this, for the most part, is true. I mean, the ideas and principles that pushed forward capitalism and the populist revolutions, such as the French Revolution and the German aristocracy's downfall, were primarily pushed because of the Lutheran Reformation and the move to Enlightenment. And so these were cultural and moral and civil changes to the populace that kind of pushed the downfall of the aristocracy and the standing up of the elected government. Now, these things have been happening to cultures since the beginning of time. The nobles became less and less important during the aristocracy because there had been an increase in temperatures and a evolution of food production in some countries and a change in the way taxation was being handled in other countries, such as in France, that led to the changes in society. And one of the things that it changed was the alteration of protection and coin as currency. See, the nobility had originally been put in place to protect and defend the peasantry so that the peasantry could grow food. And the noble protected and governed the peasantry to keep arguments from occurring and make sure everybody got treated fair. And in exchange, the peasants paid a tax to the noble, and the noble kept some of that tax and paid the rest of the tax to their king. And that's how wealth was kind of created. That started changing when you started getting some warming in Europe. And some new ideas were coming around, such as the horse-drawn plow and changes to the way they were harvesting and even changes to the way that they were fertilizing the land. And so trade started becoming more important. And military skill started to fall the wayside because the coin could be used to buy military might, but it could also be used to buy textiles. Or it could be used to buy tools, or it could be used to buy many other things. And so the method of the economy moved away from military capability to defend your neighbors and moved into a more coin-based economic system, which was actually very good. It actually increased the economy in Europe quite a bit. Now, Karl Marx stated specifically in his manifesto that undoubtedly it will be said religious, moral, philosophical, and judicial ideas have been modified in the course of historical development. But religion, morality, philosophy, and political science and law constantly survive this change. They are besides eternal truths, such as freedom, justice, etc., that are common to all states of society. But communism abolishes eternal truths. It abolishes religion and all morality, instead of constituting them on a new basis. It therefore acts in contradiction to all past historical experience. So why is this the important part of the manifesto? Well, it underpins everything that communism really is. Every bit of communism is based on the idea of moral relevancy, that for the good of everyone, we are going to do this, no matter who it hurts or why it might hurt them. Instead of it being good or bad, it's what the collective needs. And the thing is collectivism is not moral by its very definition, because you have no rights that the collective doesn't give you. In a moral system, you have rights that are not given to you by everyone else around you. They're given to you either by simply existing, by chartered documentary agreement, and those things can't be shifted at a moment's notice without your input. That is what truly makes collectivism amoral, is that in a collective, you do not necessarily get to say why it is wrong, and your say doesn't necessarily count as much as others, because the collective has decided that this is what they need. And if you say, well, no, because this will impoverish me, the collective doesn't care, and you have no redress. And this is one of the reasons that communism is a morally relative construct, and it is a collectivism construct. And it's part of the reason that communism and Marxism are becoming more and more common, especially amongst the political left in the United States. They have pushed this cultural relativism and moral relativism concepts since the 1960s. Nothing is right or wrong. It's about the experience. Well, things are right. Things are wrong. Criminals are criminals. If you kill someone, you have committed murder. Now, if the person attacked you first, it was murder in self-defense, but it was still murder. Now, self-defense is one of those situations that we all agree is moral because you didn't initiate the attack. But a moral relativist says that if self-defense is okay, then out-and-out murder is okay, because both involve the death of a human. And that's where we get the whole push of the abortion is just birth control. It really is not. It's the killing of an innocent baby. Now, are there not times where it's justified? Yes, there are. And I know I'm going to catch flack for saying that. But regardless, moral relativism is not moral. It's relativism. And you cannot expect something to be relatively good. You have to expect it to be relative. And if everything is relative, then nothing is good or bad. You don't have morals. You don't have ethics. You have what you feel. And this is part of what has created this rise of the social justice warrior construct and the concept of microaggressions and things of that nature. This is all a reinvention of the Marxist push. And instead of doing it through force, they're trying to do it through subversion. And so they're indoctrinating the the teenagers and the college students in these relativism ideas and turning them into cultural communists, so to speak, or cultural Marxists. And the only way to stop this is to expose them to ideas that aren't morally relativistic, which means we need to show them moral absolutism. Murder is bad, self-defense is okay, but not good. You shouldn't have to defend yourself at all, because violence is bad. However, you have the right to defend yourself should somebody violate the violence is bad. These are yes or no's. These are black and whites. These are clear lines. If we stop drawing clear lines and allow everything to be shades of gray, nothing will be gray anymore. Everything will only be white. Because there won't be any more black. Because it's all relative. So at this point, we need to stop the push of the Marxist agenda. Because it's morally relative. And it's trying to destroy our morality. Well, this video and this podcast ended up going into a direction that I wasn't really planning on taking it. I was going to cover more of the social justice left and intersectional feminism and intersectional theory in my next video and link the two up with communism. I still might, but it'll be a much longer set. I'm including a link once again to the Communist Manifesto on Amazon. It is available for Kindle and in paperback and hardback versions. And please, once again, like and subscribe here on YouTube and follow me on minds.com. That is minds.com. Thank you and have a good night.